common myth about hospice is that patients and families don't have any choices after hospice care starts. In our Patient Rights series, we're talking about all the choices hospice patients actually do have. You're listening to Heartbeat from the Heart of Hospice. I'm Jerry Fenter, here with Helen Bauer.
Whether you're a family caregiver or an end-of-life professional, we're here to enhance your hospice experience by connecting you with information you can use about end-of-life care. Because we know how busy life can get, Heartbeat is designed to give you helpful information in a bite-sized format.
At the Heart of Hospice, we're always looking to connect our listeners with resources and services that can enhance their hospice experience. If your company provides a service for hospice patients or hospice agencies, the Heart of Hospice would love to partner with you to expand your outreach. To discuss customized sponsorship options, send an email to host@theheartofhospice.com. You want your clients to have the best hospice experience possible, and the Heart of Hospice can help you make that happen. Now on to today's episode. I have rights. You have rights. We all have rights. Patients have rights.
Okay, we know you have rights.
Yeah. Rights are important, especially when it comes to healthcare.
Yes, you do have rights. Every patient has rights. It's federally recognized. You know me, I always go back to the regulation. Right? That's
Regulations.
what we stand on.
Those compliance and regulation things, they always seem to raise their ugly head.
I know, but in this case, it's empowering, it's protective, it's boundary setting. I think it's good stuff.
It is good stuff. And there's an actual document called Patient Rights. In fact, most agencies should have it posted in their physical office.
I think that's also a regulation.
Okay.
It's a requirement, yes. So, and patients and families actually receive a copy of it when they get admitted to hospice care.
That's right. That's right. So if you want to take a look at it, you can go to the NHPCO, which is the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization, and download the Patient Rights document. We'll even put a link in the show notes. So if you want to just go find that, and you can just link right to it from the show notes.
We'll have a link there to the National Association for Home Care, where you can also download a copy. So you'll be able to have a look at it. And it contains numerous things. It's a pretty long list of things that a patient or their responsible party has the right to.
Right. So we're beginning a series that we're doing. It's going to be a 5-part series. This is episode 1. And we're going to talk about some of the really important patient rights that we want you to know about. And we want to highlight a few of those because we think that it's really, really important that you understand what those rights are, whether you're a patient or a caregiver or a family member or you're a hospice professional.
Right, right. Because it is outlined by federal regulation, federal law. It is a condition of participation. So in other words, if a hospice agency is going to bill Medicare and receive Medicare patients, then they have to inform their patients of what their rights are. That's exactly what it says. A hospice patient has the right to be informed of his or her rights, and the hospice must protect and encourage using these rights. So that makes my little compliance heart happy. What can I say?
Right. Well, and it's all about education, and that's what we're all about, is educating the consumer, especially, about what their rights are under these regulations. And it's really important for hospice providers, healthcare providers in general, to know what the patient's rights are, so that you don't overstep violate those rights.
We're not going to have a series with every single one of these rights because it would take us the rest of 2022 to do that, I think.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
yes.
There are a lot of them. So just a 5-part series. We're going to be hitting the highlights, some of the things that we think are most important for people to know. But we definitely want to encourage you to talk to your agency if you are a hospice patient or a responsible person for a hospice patient, or go online and download it and have a look at it.
Right. So let's talk about some of the most important ones that we're going to be highlighting.
Okay.
In episode 2, we're going to be talking about the right to voice concerns and to not be discriminated against for doing so.
And you can call it concerns, but let's call it what it is, complaint.
It's a complaint, right?
When you need to make a complaint for whatever reason, you should be able to do that without having to worry about the quality of your care changing.
Right. In episode 3, we're going to talk about the patient's right to choose their own physician.
That's right. You can choose to take your physician along with you to act as your attending if your physician is willing. We're going to be talking about how that works.
Right. It does go back to the physician's willingness as well.
Right. Absolutely. And then in episode 4, we're going to be talking about the right to stop and start hospice care. Next to making a complaint, this might be the most important one for people to know about. You have the right to say when it stops and when it starts. There's some caveats, right? There's some requirements and some boundaries on that. It's definitely within the patient's rights.
Sure. And it goes back to the regulations again, right?
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Okay, so episode 5 in this Patient's Rights series, we're going to talk about the right to choose your own plan of care.
What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's the patient's right to choose what kind of medical equipment they want to use, the medications that they take or don't want to take, and even which hospice team discipline that they want to make visits.
Right. So the interventions that are part of the plan of care, interventions are just sort of a fancy word for what the team is going to do for you, what
Right.
the hospice staff will do for the patient and the family.
And we'll explain what a plan of care is as well.
Right, right. We'll be talking about all of that. So we've got a good series coming up. I'm excited about this one, which I realize as I say it sounds kind of cuckoo, but yeah.
But we will hopefully give you some information that is going to be helpful and educational and maybe empower you a little bit, because it's all about giving you the empowerment that you need. You as a patient or a caregiver or a family member have the right to be empowered to do what you know you have the right to do. So as we go through this series, we hope that you will find this to be very educational and empowering.
Thanks for listening to Heartbeat from the Heart of Hospice. I'm Helen Bauer with Jerry Finter. Because we know your hospice journey is 24/7, you can always find us at theheartofhospice.com. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, and please take a minute to leave a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to connect with us, you can send us an email to host@theheartofhospice.com. You can also find us on social media. And remember, no matter who you are or where you are in your hospice journey, you are the Heart of Hospice.